Cool, I'm live. All right. Well, I thought I'd give it a shot maybe in the earlier in the day. But I'm going to read from that book, The Greatest Storm, Book 2. I'm going to attempt to read the first 2 chapters. And I have the magic paintbrush uploaded. I read the whole book on here. I hope you'll check it out, but it's part of the series, The Books of 9 and 10 Penance. Hello, I'm J.E. Krieger. J.E. Krieger, author. And I'm going to be reading from The Greatest Storm, the story of Allison White and Stephen Blackman. A romantic comedy. Perfect for kids. And those are the other 2 books in the series. Excuse me here. But yeah, I'm going to give this an attempt. Oh. Dedicated to my Aunt Fern and Uncle Bill. You are my young love, my new love, my old love, my soulmate. And we'll see how this goes. All right. And the first chapter is called The Eye of the Greatest Storm. And we'll find out all about the story as I start reading. This is the tale of true love separated by an ocean. The question of whether young love can survive the roughest of seas, the coldest of winds, and the rocky waves that stand between them. In order to do so, a long journey lay ahead. A spell must be broken. A curse must be lifted. If they are to know in their hearts it was meant to be. Could they conquer anything thrown in their way and overcome the challenges they would have to face? Together, could they survive the greatest storm? I'm going to grab the bookmark. The sky was clear. The stars were all left out for show. The moon was bright and vivid, creating a magnificent spectacle glistening off the peaceful ocean. The sea is a mystery on nights like this. It gives her heart willingly, free without consequence. Then, at any given moment, it can coil around and take it all back, claiming what rightfully belongs to the depths. Stephen Blackman, the young man in our tale of true love, was watching as the waves crashed against the side of the boat, not realizing how wild and deadly they can become at any given moment. Here, I'll switch this around. That's the book I'm reading from. While he was thinking of his one true love, a slender, unappreciated old man leaned against the railing. What a lovely evening we're having, isn't it? Is it not? Stephen replied, Excuse me, sir. Your skin is pale and your eyes are black. Are you okay? The name is Libretto, and I'll be fine once we make port. It's just that I've never cared much for the sea and its way to leave one lonely. The name is Stephen. I'm going to be married soon, once we reach the island. Trust me, you have nothing to fear except for this ship. Why would I fear anything? I'm going to be married. Oh, I know she's an old pile of rust held together by a few badly welded rivets. I'm afraid if a storm were to hit, the ship would be torn to pieces and we'd be all lost at sea. Nonsense. This ship has sailed for 7 days straight without so much as a baby's burp to belch. Besides, the winds are fair and the waves are calm. Stephen's new friend Libretto stuck his head overboard and cursed out at the sea with a violent gulp. I wish I had your confidence, young lad. Stephen stepped a little further away and said, Tell me, why are you traveling to an island in the middle of the ocean if you get seasick so easily? Oh, it's a long story and I don't want to bore you, but since you insist. I didn't actually insist. When I was about your age, I loved a gal as fair as could be. I thought we would spend the rest of our lives together, but we drifted apart. She's there on the island. I thought I might go see what she's been up to over the years. I see. Interesting story. Well, I still have some things I need to. Libretto pounded his fist on the railing. I wish I would have had a way to test our love first, to see if it was truly meant to be, before we were married. Alas, that time is lost to us now, and I'll never get it back. Stefan put a hand on his shoulder. Look on the bright side. If she's still the same girl you remember, I'm sure you'll find that spark the two of you once shared. Only this time you'll have patience on your side. That's just it. If I hadn't wasted all those years wondering what could have been. Ah, it doesn't matter. You don't want to know what that's like. It's no life to live. Well, at least you're going to go see her now. Stefan, is it? Mind your own business. Libretto grabbed Stefan by the loop of his collar. No, wait. You just don't get it. I'm old, and the old don't get a chance to live out their dreams or their past, once they've faded away with time. Well, the love of my life is on that island, and so is yours. So is yours. This I'm confident of. Confident? Humph. I wish I still had your spirit, the spirit of youth. Fate had a hand in us meeting, not chance. I was meant to tell you to give up. Well, I'd bet once she sees you, the two of you will spend the rest of your days on that island. Doubtful. Say, the waves are moving awfully fast. Out of nowhere, a fantastical storm erupted. The ocean unleashed its fury, turning the peaceful evening into a horrific nightmare in the blink of an eye. The ship began taking on water as it could no longer hold together its badly welded rivets in the rapidly growing waves. The captain immediately ordered all hands on deck and the passengers to be loaded onto life rafts at once. Stefan, his new friend Libretto, and several other passengers were among the first to be sent adrift to face the storm alone. The ship soon became a flickering light, a spot in the distance slowly sinking to the bottom of the ocean. The waves were rough, but the life raft held strong amidst the gulping temper of the waters that were trying desperately to swallow them. Stefan kept the passengers' minds at ease with his rapier wit and knowledge of the sea. All was going well until Libretto stood up and began rocking the life raft back and forth as he cried out, begging for mercy. He clasped his hands together and pleaded, Please, show us mercy. It was not meant to end like this. I don't want to die out here in this God-forsaken place. Put my feet on dry land where they belong. Stefan took action. He held on to his new friend and said, We'll be fine, Libretto. Sit down. You're rocking the boat. We'll capsize if you can't remain in your seat. Hold on. I'm going to try this. There. Now I have to hold the damn thing. Where was I? No, how can you be calm at a time like this? Man was not meant to float on water. We are all doomed, I tell you. We are all doomed. Stefan tried to calm him, but it was too late. The life raft capsized. The passengers clung on to whatever they could find to stay afloat. The waves quickly carried Stefan into the eye of the storm. But as fate would have it, he found a rather large tree torn up from its roots floating alongside him. He climbed aboard and held on for the bumpy ride. The brutal storm soon took a toll on his strength, and he was knocked unconscious by a crashing wave, left floating along into the unknown. He floated all night and into the next day, until the tree hit a sandy beach. He woke in a strange misty fog covering the ocean. There was nowhere else to go, so he set foot on dry land and walked along the shoreline as luggage from the shipwreck began washing up. He wondered if this was not his fate, if he was truly lost at sea on some uncharted island. Then the fog slowly lifted. He saw a bottle and a box wrapped in plastic. The bottle was empty but still had its cap. The box held the captain's log, along with a pen made from a feather used to write the events of the storm from the night before. Stefan thought to himself that this may very well be the end, and then he may never again see his one and only true love. So he decided right then and there to write a note on the back of the captain's account of the storm and send it afloat out to sea in the bottle addressed to his love-to-be. The bottle was taken rather quickly by the waves, as if destined to find the one the letter was addressed to. Oh, thank you for leaving a comment. I appreciate it. Okay, well, I'm going to attempt to read the first 2 chapters of this book. And this next chapter is called Fern and Bill Olave. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And so the whole book goes back and forth between Stefan and his one true love, Allison. All the while, Allison White, Stefan's one true love, waited down by the docks with his mother for his safe return, unaware that he was now lost at sea on a strange island, somewhere between here and nowhere. Allison, it's almost noon. You've been waiting all day for my son. Maybe you should take a walk on the beach to clear your mind of things. That's all right, Mrs. Blackman. I don't mind waiting. Besides, I want to be here the moment he sets foot on shore. Call me Lonnie. You'll be my daughter-in-law soon. All right, Lonnie. I just don't understand why he hasn't arrived yet. You know, sometimes these ships don't always make it in on time. What do you mean? Allison, I've been meaning to talk with you about something. I know that both of you are madly in love. It's just that, what is it, Mrs. Blackman? My son is very stubborn, and when he gets set on something, it's hard for him to change his mind. Don't think that I'm being rude. It's just that the both of you are so young. Maybe you should think about holding the wedding off until next year or the year after, until you're sure he's the one. I know he's the one. I've known since the first day we met. Trust me when I say, I know deep in my heart he's the only one for me, and there will never be anyone else. You say that now, but there may come a time when another fish in the sea tries to lure you away. What will you do then? I will simply think of your son and the love we share. I just wish the two of you would test the waters you're about to swim in before you take the plunge and get married. After we're married, we'll test those waters when we come across them. Allison White then said her goodbyes to Mrs. Blackman and went for a walk down by the beach. The shore was littered with debris. She wondered where it all must have come from. Then she saw something lying on the ground, so she picked it up as a crab scattered away and had herself a closer look. It was a bottle with a message stuck inside. She removed the cap, took out the piece of paper, and read from the letter addressed to her from her one true love. And this is what the letter said as she sobbed on and read. Dear Allison, my love and wife-to-be, if you have found this bottle, removed its cap, and begun to read from the letter inside, know that I am still alive and doing just fine. I'm stuck on an island, layered in a thick fog, somewhere between here and nowhere. I landed here while adrift on a tree, after a great storm tore apart the ship. I found a bottle with its cap still on, a pen made from a feather, and wrote you this letter, in hopes you will find it some day. Do not worry if I do not make it back in time for our wedding. I am very skilled at surviving on my own. For my time at camp when I was young taught me well. You see, I wrote you this letter just to let you know I love you dearly, and if I do not make it back home, do not shed a tear, but in my honor, go on. Love, Stefan. After Allison read the saddest words she ever read, she wept uncontrollably. But as fate would have it, as she sat there crying her heart out with the knowledge she may never again see her one and only true love, an old married couple happened to walk by. Excuse me, miss, I don't mean to intrude, but why are you crying on such a beautiful day? Well, the man I'm to marry is lost at sea, along with all hope he will ever return home alive. My name is Bill Olave, and this is my wife Fern. We run a bakery together. If it would be of any comfort to you, we'd be glad to lend an ear. My name is Allison, and there isn't much to tell. Here, you can read from the letter. Allison handed them the letter and continued to cry as Fern and Bill Olaf read aloud from the other side of the piece of paper. And this is what the captain's log read. It's nearing midnight. The seas are calm and the stars are all out for show. My parrot has finally gone to sleep. Strangely, for some odd reason, the North Star still waits in the south. If all goes well, by tomorrow morning we should make port. Stop. It's midnight. I have just set my bottle of ale down with the cap resting next to it. The winds are blowing strong, and the waves are picking up over our ship, the sturdy and mighty Coral Cadenza. With no time to think, I secured the cap firmly back on the bottle and handed it to my first mate as I grab hold of the wheel to try and do my best to steer us through this mess. Stop. I have lost all control and cannot steer. Wave after wave crashes against the hull, causing her to rock back and forth. I fear soon we may capsize as I head for a red light in the mist. Stop. My worst fears have now been confirmed. A great big tree torn from its roots has put a hole in our hull, and now we begin to sink. You would think, as vast and wide as the ocean is, my first mate would have steered clear of it. The ship is sinking and sinking fast. I have ordered all passengers overboard, as we will not be able to stay afloat much longer. The pen I used to write this account and the log will be wrapped in plastic and placed in a box, in hopes that someone someday will find it and learn of our great tragedy at sea. I fear no one will survive this great and powerful storm, and I myself have decided to go down with the ship. To whom it may concern. Sincerely, Captain Blake. After reading the letter, Bill Olaf looked Allison in the eyes with hope resting in his. I have some good news for you, Allison. The ship you speak of, its passengers, have just arrived on life rafts down by the docks. Are you sure? Didn't you read from the other side? It says he's lost on an island. Perhaps he's been rescued from this island you speak of and is now on shore. You really think he might be down by the docks? It's worth having a look. Fern Olaf turned to her husband with little confidence resting in her eyes. Bill, don't raise her hopes too high. Maybe we should tell her the truth. The truth? Allison replied, confused. Nonsense, don't listen to my wife. Fine, Bill, let's take this girl down by the docks and go have a look, now that you've set her hopes so high. The three went wandering down by the docks in hopes of finding her one and only true love. Well, do you see him anywhere? No, I'm afraid not, Allison replied. Then let's ask this gentleman over here. Bill, I'll ask him. You have a terrible way with words. Now what's his name, your one true love? Stephen Blackman. She spoke with confidence that this was his name that had been given to him by his mother. Excuse me, sir? Do you know if Stephen Blackman has made it ashore yet? The name is Libretto. I regret to inform you I was with you, this youth you speak of last night. Unfortunately, he rocked our life raft back and forth, causing it to capsize. Fortunately, with my courage, rapier wit, and knowledge of the sea, I was able to turn the life raft back over on its buoyant side and save what passengers remain. I see. Thank you for your time. Allison White clenched her teeth as she held her tears back, which were about ready to become as vast and wide as the ocean. Then it's true. My love is truly lost forever. Nonsense. We'll just have to keep looking until we find him. Bill, tell her the truth. What truth? Allison replied again, confused. Hold on. Let me speak with the captain or one of his crew first, if there are any left. Well, the captain is right over there, and young girl? I, the great Bassos Libretto, was a gallant hero, saving many passengers that fateful night, if it is of any comfort. Thank you. Now we must speak with the captain. Don't bother. He is lost forever. There is no use in searching. That was Alice. Do not talk like that, Allison. Let me speak with the captain first. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Bill Olaf left Allison and with his wife Fern and steered through a crowd of people trying to speak with the captain. Excuse me, sir. Sir, are you the captain of the Coral Cadenza? No, he went down with the ship. However, I am his first mate, Adam Griffard. If you have any questions that need answering. Yes, I do have one. Then what is it you wish to know? It is about the storm you encountered last night. What I wish to know is, was it shrouded in a strange mist, and did a light shine red in the eye of this storm? Why, yes, I have never encountered anything like it in all my years of sailing. Thank you for your time. You're welcome, old man, and if it is of any comfort, if someone you knew went down with the ship, just know I did everything I could. I do believe I fought that storm quite bravely, as fierce and deadly as it was. With all hope lost at sea, Fern and Bill Olaf took Allison White by the hand and led the way down a long and narrow dock stretching out into the sea as far as the eye could see. There at the end was a small rowboat with a mast and no sail. Bill, I think it's time you told her the truth. What truth do you keep talking about? Bill looked Allison square in the eyes and finally came clean. Allison, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Your journey has just begun, if you ever want to save the one you love. What are you talking about? Every 7th year before the first Sunday in July, a great storm passes nearby. Though it is only a mile wide, it is a storm that never dies. It has lasted throughout the ages of time, consuming everything in its path. The captain's first mate has confirmed this. So he is lost forever and may not even be alive? No, he is alive, for now I know he was lost in the winds of the greatest storm ever known. I too was once lost in this storm. My wife, Fern, received a message in a bottle washed up on shore just like you did. She had to journey very far from here to find me, on this very rowboat, in fact, the one that sits in the waters before you. Give her the map and tell her the rest, Bill. I was just getting to that. Now please, let me tell her in my own way. You take your time, though. Tell her the rest so she can save him before he loses his mind. What do you mean by lose his mind? Allison replied again. The storm that passed by last night is unlike any other the sea has ever known. It seeks all those who sail to be with their one true love. When the red eye of the storm has them in its clutches, it whisks them away to an island in the middle of the ocean, leaving them stranded there forever seeking the one they love. It is a place somewhere between here and nowhere, and a place I never want to go back to. Give her the map already, Bill. Hold on, I'll give her the map when I'm done telling the story. But Bill, she doesn't have much time. I suppose you're right, Fern. To make a long story short, my wife rescued me from that very same island. We sailed back here together and made a map by using the stars above as a guide. I've always kept this map with me just in case I ever again became lost. I now know I will never be lost, so long as I have my wife by my side. Fern nodded her head, confirming her husband was not one of those crazy types. Bill then continued to speak. Now I give this map to you, Allison White, in hopes it will be of use to you. May it help guide you to the island covered in a strange mist. Take the map and use it as a sail. When you gaze upon the stars at night, use the ones marked on it to find the place you seek, where your one and only true love waits. This is also very strange, but if it is what I must do to be with the one I love, then I shall set sail at once. Allison then stepped onto the boat as Bill gave her some advice. Before you go, I caution you this. The seas ahead will be rough, and though at times you might lose your way, think of the one you love and how he waits. Now my wife Fern has something to say. The voyage will not be an easy one in this badly worn boat made for two. That is why I offer you this. Take this loaf of bread from our bakery to keep your heart warm on the coldest of nights, and fill your bottle with some of my tea, so that it may be filled with your love and never emptied. Now go, Allison White, set sail at once before the field of forgetfulness has taken hold of the one you love. Field of forgetfulness, Allison spoke, mesmerized by such confusion. The Olafs pushed the rowboat away, and Allison White set sail into the unknown, armed with nothing more than a piece of paper and the ink that was written on it. She tied the map off to the mast as a guide to the stars above, catching fair winds in search of her one and only true love, who was lost at sea on an island covered in a strange mist, somewhere between here and nowhere. There we go. That's the end of chapter 2. And I hope everyone enjoyed the reading. Looks like a few people did. Thanks you guys for the ones that did comment. I'll probably, I guess it kind of went over well, so I don't know when I'll read the third chapter, either tomorrow or Monday. We'll see, hopefully around the same time, but I hope you guys enjoy the fantastical tale of the greatest storm. Part of the book series, and Magic Paintbrush is up. Both those two books are on Kindle Reads. So I hope you'll check them out and give them a review. And the third book does not have a Kindle version yet, but thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Hopefully it'll be soon.